Sawadee from Bangkok, Thailand. It's 6:15 in the morning. Just finished a 5K loop of Lumpini Park, which if you listen to my episode about Bangkok I think it's one of the best ways to start the day. What's interesting it's like a 5K, it's 2 laps of the perimeter of Lumpini. And there's no arrows or anything on the track, but what you realise is that 99% of people run in a clockwise direction. Not that it's illegal to run anti-clockwise, but just reinforces how much we look to others and how much we just conform without even thinking about it. And honestly, if I did run anti-clockwise, I'd actually feel very self-conscious about doing it. Like, what a rebel. So yeah, this is my first run in just over a week, and my Achilles held up. It's feeling a bit sore, and I was out shopping yesterday at Central World, which is like an incredible department store. I was there for a few hours. I got in about 16,000 steps. I only bought a couple of things. It's more like a walking art gallery, to be honest. Just so many cool designers and unique things. I kind of want to buy it all, but there were these suitcases, and they're actually designed with dents, so that you buy them with dents already. And their colours are like the colours of Jelly Belly, just super poppy. I don't need another suitcase, but I took a photo just in case in future. I might even link to them in the show notes. Really impressive. And also I saw some Moo Dang hydration masks. So Moo Dang is that baby pygmy hippo that's gone viral. I actually didn't realise that she lived in Thailand, and I searched her up. She is about an hour and a half away. So at some point in this trip, I hope to get to see Moo Dang. I was on the website and just researching about how to see Moo Dang, and one of the best times to see her is during 8 o'clock in the morning, when she wakes up and they're sort of giving her a shower, spraying water on her. She's hanging out with her mum, and she's apparently very active, and they call this session the morning bounce because she just bounces around. She's super cute. And whoever's doing the marketing for the zoo is, I've got to say, really clever. But as I was leaving Central World yesterday, I went to grab a taxi just out the front. It was just there, of course. I use this app called Grab, which is like Uber usually, but because the taxi was there, I was like, I'll just jump in, and I'm just out of practice using Bangkok taxi, so I got kind of scammed. He didn't put the meter on. Something happened, and this 10-minute trip cost like $13, which is ludicrous. But he was originally going to charge me around $30 for that. Yeah, it was a total scam. And it reminded me just of scams in Bangkok. I had a good friend of mine. He had a couple of drinks and he went to an ATM to get money out. And when you get money out, you get 1,000 baht notes. And sometimes when you travel in taxi, you need small change because taxi drivers don't have change. And that's one way they can keep the change and earn more money. So you need smaller change. And so he got this money out, and this guy came up to him and goes, "Oh, look, do you need smaller change, mate? I'll take your money. I'll get you some smaller change. And look, I guarantee I'll be back. Like, here are my keys." And so he gave this guy his keys and then ran off with the money. And my friend was just waiting there for 20 minutes. And of course, the guy never came back. The keys were worthless. But interestingly, with the word scam, the first records of the word come from the 1960s. It was originally and is still primarily used in the United States. It's thought to have come from the slang of carnival workers, but little else is known about the origin. We know that scams have been going on for longer than that, like forever. And actually, I think the original phrase is con artist. And I was looking this up as well. A con is a confidence game or other fraudulent scheme, especially for making a quick profit or swindle. So if you think about a confidence artist, think about the work that I do. A lot of it is around, a lot of people and clients walk away thinking, I feel more confident. Am I in the confidence industry? Am I a con artist? Should I go all in on that and just call myself a con artist and run like con artistry sessions? Anyway, so that's the origin of the word. So I could get started here. I don't want to go on and on, because I don't want this to be negative, but it's kind of fun to call out some scams. I think right now, just general scams in life. Printing documents is a scam, particularly for security reasons. Like some banks, some superannuation, if you're in the US, that's 401k organisations, wanted to do some updating of some things recently, and they called for a printed, they wanted a wet signature, which is so I couldn't sign the document on my iPad and send it through. They wouldn't accept that. They had to physically print the document, sign it, and scan it and send it through. What's the difference? That's a scam. Why is that more secure? If anyone really wanted my details, they could easily go to find a print shop and do the same thing. So I think that's a scam. Speaking of scams and paperwork, one of my first gigs in 2019 was working for a construction company, and one of their big countries that I had to work with was India, and I had to do separate paperwork for their India operation that required all these, again, like India, very much paper-driven economy. I mean, that was back in 2019. I haven't been back still. I imagine it remains the same. Yeah, so for the contract, I had to, again, print it, sign it, and then they asked for a company stamp. They wanted my company stamp, and I'm like, I'm a solopreneur. I was a month into my business, like, what the hell is a company stamp? I couldn't find anything. So what I ended up doing, and this is my own kind of scam, was I went to I just put my business name and ABN, that's my Australian business number, ordered it from a guy that creates stamps about 10 minutes away. He created the stamp that day, then I stamped it and signed it. And that was, again, it's just it's a scam, like this whole thing around, I don't know what they're going to do in future. Like, I know they're looking at, even with the social media policy in Australia is trying to cut that off. Like, the only way I think to do that is through, I would imagine, blockchain. Like, how else? Like one unique identifier that's linked to the blockchain. Anyway, this podcast isn't about my thoughts on that, but yeah, printing documents is a scam. The second one, I think more so in Europe. It's kind of annoying in Australia as well, but cookies on websites. Why can't we just have a setting, and maybe there is one that maybe you can tell me about, something in the back end where it's for all websites, I just choose to decline all cookies. Can I do that? There's pop-ups on every single website I visit about cookies. Can't I just click a button and have this done once and for all? If there's an app that does this, please let me know. Binge is a streaming service in Australia, and I was on their normal plan. Then they started running ads to that. I think that's a scam. So streaming services, I get it. I understand Netflix have different services, and they said, right, we'll do a cheaper one and we'll put ads on that. That is fair enough. But for Binge to then just one day take their customers and go, we're going to put ads on this and you're not paying anything less, I think is a scam. This next one is probably going to be the most controversial. I did post it on Instagram a while ago and I had some feedback. I think Wicked the musical is a scam. Sorry, did not enjoy it. I think it went on and on. I've heard the movie is really good, so I'm actually going to give it another chance and watch the movie, but I think the musical was dull. I think the songs it was just, everyone's talks about all the different dynamics and power and everything else. I just think it was really boring. It wouldn't even be in my top 10 for musicals, to be honest. It was dull, it went on, and maybe because I was going and thinking about the movie The Wizard of Oz and thinking it was kind of related to that, it's just a completely different story and did not enjoy it. Another scam, again, this is getting more broader and probably more controversial. Another scam, and I'm probably going to stop here because I'm getting broader and broader. I think company loyalty, but I think everyone understands that's been gone since COVID. Everyone knows it. It was never there. Company loyalty, you do your work, you work really hard, you give everything to your company, you get paid back in return, and they'll think about that. No, I think we know that's not a thing. And the whole notion, the societal notion that freedom starts during retirement, which plays out for many of the people that I work with. And I think this is changing again with COVID. I think it accelerated that we want to sort of start living now, but there's still that legacy of that occurring. Okay, I could go on. Like I said, now that I've started this list, I'm going to see more scams. I'd love to hear what you think a scam is. Send me a note, hello@leannehughes.com, or I think social media is easier, Instagram, DM, LinkedIn, all the platforms, or you can even comment on Spotify as well. A big shout out and thank you to Liz Van Vliet, who reviewed the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go get a guava juice now, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.